resistance is futile.
Boldly going where no show has gone before. This is The Week in Geek with David D. Squared and Brian Held. Heard live on News Talk 99.5 WRNO and the iHeartRadio app. Here are your hosts, Brian Held and D. Squared.
Greetings, people of Earth. This is The Week in Geek, your source for geek and pop culture news that's trending now. I'm your host, D Squared with
Brian Held.
How are you, buckaroo?
Oh, I'm good, man. You know,
I'm not believing you. It's not very convincing.
I just, always running around doing all kind of stuff, partying way too much.
The life of a celebrity,
Yeah,
man. Tell me more about it. What's it like?
Oh, jeez. Shut up.
All right,
Dave.
let's lay out the show. We'll kick it off with top nerd news, followed by our boy Skungy with his pick of the week, and then we have a very special guest calling in.
Yeah, absolutely. So Lenore Zann is an actress. She is the voice of Rogue in the X-Men animated series.
Nice.
And she will be at Wizard World next weekend. So she's going to be our calling guest in a little while here. So
I just heard that commercial.
yeah.
And, well, you know what? Real quick, while we're on the topic of Wizard World, there's still time to get signed up to win the VIP tickets to get pictures with Carrie Elways and it's 2 VIP passes and pictures. Huh?
Correct, yes.
Right.
So we have that VIP package, and then we have single day Friday passes available. All you have to do is go to our Facebook page. The contest is running there. Just like and share to win. And, of course, we'll close out the show as we always do with This Week in Geek History.
But first... And now, your top nerd news stories from around the world, brought to you by the Viridian Tea Company. Find them on Etsy. And now, your top nerd news stories. All right, Brian, besides Clark Gable at the Brown Derby, what else happened this week?
Oh, man, all kind of stuff. Real quick, because there's a smattering of news in our notes here, but I did want to mention real quick that there was a box office drop for Rise of Skywalker.
What?
However, it's weird. It's weird to say this, right? Because they have thus far earned $361 million domestically and a total of $724.8 million worldwide. And
that's good, right?
Well, that's good, but it's still somewhat of a drop as compared to previous entries in the Star Wars franchise. Yes.
If you only knew the power of the dark side.
So I just wanted to mention that real quick out of the gate.
So you're just piling on Star Wars, huh?
No.
After last week, your glowing unendorsement of the movie.
Look, Dave, I have talked to a number of people in the course of the week since our last show. And
Yeah, but you're a celebrity. People always agree with whatever you say.
That is untrue.
You can say the sky is green. And it'll be like, you're right. So's my ham and eggs.
Oh, no, believe me, I got grilled like no tomorrow for my position. I just want to make sure that people understand that if you enjoyed it, I am excited for you.
Okay.
I want to be as excited as you are. I don't want to
I want to
this
believe it's Santa Claus again. Damn
Yes.
it.
Thank you. So, speaking, since we're on Star Wars, did you want to talk about The Mandalorian?
Yes. Spoiler alert for the Mandalorian finale. If you've not seen the Mandalorian, turn down your volume now.
Okay.
I loved it.
You
Dude,
loved it?
I love this stupid series so much, and I can't get enough, and I'm so glad because then, after the movie was over, or the series was over, Jon Favreau tweeted out a picture of a Gamorrean, and The Mandalorian returns fall of 2020.
Yeah.
But to the show, I loved every second of it. I loved the fact that you had 2 scout troopers sitting here bantering back and forth while apparently Moff Gideon is out there just murdering their lieutenants. They kill the governor. I mean, it was everything you expect of the Empire. They even punched Baby Yoda, which,
Dude, that was rough.
that was awesome.
Okay, like I saw that,
That was
and I'm like,
awesome.
I understand that this is a CGI kind of puppet thing, right? And this is not real, but damn.
Look, if Baby Yoda was upset, he could have force choked them, okay? So obviously he was letting them have their fun because he'd seen a vision of the future where they died. So he wasn't sweating. He's like, yeah, punch me. I ain't worried about you. But one of those things, you and I were talking before we came in studio,
Yeah.
and you likened that repartee between the 2 speeder bike troopers as like Reno 911-ish.
Yeah. Or if anybody remembers the old fan film Troops,
Yeah, that was a good show.
It kind of had a feeling of that, which in on the one hand feels somewhat appropriate, right? I mean, these are supposed to be real people in this galaxy, and they would interact in that fashion. So I was sort of digging that, but in the same token, I'm like, this is not serious enough for me, right? Like this should be a little more serious.
Well,
but yeah.
All right. Well, here's my position, because before I started watching the show, I wanted to recap and rewatch the last segment of the show before it, and they kill the Imperial governor, and when they shoot all those troopers and the governor in that cantina, I was like, was that just friendly fire? Did they not care? But they shot the governor straight in the chest, and so that was, they meant to kill all those people. And then when you hear the troopers talking about how, yeah, they just killed another lieutenant for interrupting them off, this might take a while. And the funny part is because, like, you've got this Grand Moff who's coming in, who's like, like, what are you guys doing on this backwater planet? You're too dirty to clean your uniforms. Because when they showed up in last week's episode with their gleaming white stormtrooper armor, I'm like, that's the Empire.
Right.
And then you've got these poor schlubs on their speeder bikes who are just kind of like, honestly, I was wondering if they were really even part of the Empire. They were just kind of like, guys who had just donned the armor, as it were, just because, okay, well, that people are still afraid of the Empire. But these guys were just, obviously there's a breakdown in discipline, Brian.
Yeah.
And so the Moff came in and reinstituted discipline. How do you do that? Mass executions will continue until morale improves.
Right.
And that's the Empire to a T. And while I thought it was funny, it showed in a colorful, funny light how just demented and depraved the Empire really can be, where they kill their own people. They punch poor little helpless force-using babies.
Yeah.
But they get their just desserts in the end. They're getting blown up. They still couldn't hit anything. That was the funniest part, too.
Yeah.
When they're sitting there trying to shoot a can and they can't hit anything. That was fantastic, man.
That was.
That part of the series really kind of, brought me in where I'm just like, this is the show I wanted. This is what I wanted. I know you're not a big fan of the humoristic side of it, if that's even a word, but I don't know. How serious do you want your Star Wars, though?
Well, it's
wizards and force swords, wizards and laser swords, Brian.
It's not as if I can't handle the humor, right? It's just, I don't know. Some of it feels forced to me. Regardless, this last episode, I think, was, in my mind, better than some of the previous offerings this season. There was some good development. We got a little bit more out of the Mandalorians and stuff.
Yes, oh my God.
Right, with that whole chiefess, right? And
I was so bummed when I thought she was going, all right, no, wait, let me do it again. Here we go. Spoilers if you haven't seen The Mandalorian. All right, the final episode. So I was really kind of upset thinking to myself that they're going to kill her, and all that lore, how to work the Beskar into armor, was going to die. And she whoops them up with a hammer and tongs, just makes mincemeat out of them.
Oh, yeah.
But then gives him the Mudhorn signet.
Yes.
There were so many cool portions to it. And then the final scene, Brian, like my son flipped out before I did, because you saw, Moff Gideon gets shot down, and then all of a sudden you see something burning through the side of the TIE fighter.
Right.
And then what comes out, Brian?
It's a dark blade, as I understand it.
Dark saber, yes. Yeah. And it's a black lightsaber, dude.
Okay.
It's owned by the Mandalorians. And when you see that flashback where, that's the other weird part that I thought was really awesome and cool, was they laid more story, because the Moff Gideon calls them out by name, calls the Mandalorian out by his name that no one else has ever said since he put on this helmet.
Yeah.
And then he shows up with a historically owned Mandalorian lightsaber. And then he gets rescued by, I think it was the Death Watch or something. They wear the blue stuff. I'm not completely up on all the Star Wars Rebels and Clone Wars stuff, because they did a lot of that in Rebels with Sabine and stuff like that. But they're bringing in all the lore, and I think that was. I was fully invested before that, and that cliffhanger, not even like a cliffhanger. It was just like, there's more to come.
Right.
So it's just like, hey, we're going to really dig into more of the Star Wars lore, this is the content I came to see.
Right. And I really do honestly hope, like, in example for this Darkblade thing, that they explain it in season 2, right? Because the fact that we know what it is and how it exists within the canon, the average fan who's watching this is not going to go dig that up.
True.
Right? So I really hope that they explain that stuff and kind of dig in.
Well, and they're going to have to, because you have to figure out the connection between those two characters, too, with the Mandalorian and Moff Gideon, because obviously he's the big bad now, right?
Right.
And the Mandalorian's, the good guy in this. So they are going to flesh all that out. And I think that's going to make the story just move even better. IG-11 just goes back to, remember when he's like, I will now self-destruct.
Yeah.
I want to, see, it pays off, Brian. It all comes full circle.
Right.
There you go. All right. There we go. That's enough for spoiling the Mandalorian
There
for
you
folks
go.
out there.
Let's see where we want to go. How about we talk about the Navy and its advertising dollars?
In the Navy, you can sail the 7 seas.
So this is really interesting, is that the United States Navy has decided to move its advertising dollars to esports and YouTube, and it's dumping traditional television and the Super Bowl, Dave.
How dare they drop the Super Bowl at $1 million for 30 seconds? That's insanity.
Yeah, they don't believe that the audience that they're trying to reach, which is typically people between the ages of 17 and 28, are watching things like the Super Bowl.
It's like the cigarette companies. You go for the 12-year-olds because, you got to get them while they're young, get them hooked. So if you want to join the Navy, you get them hooked. And where are all their potential recruits? Watching YouTube videos and wasting their lives. So go join the Navy and make something of your damn self.
Right.
America.
So, and of course,
every Navy man is right now, I don't need no stupid bums in my Navy. Well, think about it, though. It's been a joke, but it's been the truth, though, where video games have always been kind of like the wave of the future, the wave of the military, just drones. Things like that where, you need these kids with these ninja-like reflexes at the controls of these $1 million aircraft, because you sure as hell ain't going to put a 40-year-old bum like me in some aircraft and be like, all right, don't crash it.
Right.
It's like, I'm going to oh my God, I'm going to crash it. You put it at a 15-year-old, he's like, I want to go fast. I want to go fast.
Right. So it's very interesting. Other branches of the military, like the Air Force, was the MVP sponsor of the E-League Counter-Strike Global Offensive Major in Boston. The U.S. Army has its own esports team that actively competes for, like, Call of Duty, for example. Right. So I find it interesting. As a sports guy, do you think that shows a waning for interest in the NFL?
No, you dumbass.
Well,
no, not even remotely, because you follow the money, Brian. You just already explained it. From 17 to 28-year-olds, they're going for their target demo. That's just wise use of their buying power.
Yeah.
Why spend it on people our age who are watching the Super Bowl, the couch potatoes that, they've probably already either been washed out of the military or have retired from the military, or they're working 9-to-5ers. You want to get those younger kids in there to join the military because, that's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And so you go where your target audience is. So, no, I don't think that's a dip in the buying power. I think that's just good common sense. Let's just say, you sure as hell ain't going to have Life Alert suddenly start advertising on YouTube videos. I've fallen and I can't get up.
Right.
All the kids are going to do is laugh at that. Funny grandma fall. Ha ha. But no, you would go to all the blue plate dinner specials to hit the old lady and old man circuit for their advertising dollars.
I do find it interesting that it's 97% of its advertising budget is going to online advertising, right? And
being in radio that I am, look, between radio, the podcasting, which is part of that media landscape of the electronic landscape. Yeah, we push that stuff all the time because.
Well, I'm just saying the other 3% is billboards and radio.
Yeah,
there you go.
But see, they put radio, but they don't put podcasting.
Yeah, well, maybe that's the online portion. So.
No, a lot of these car companies have made a big shift to that too. You're still going to see boatloads of car commercials on TV, but they made a huge push on the electronic landscape, if you would.
Absolutely.
All right. Top 10 esports by total prize pool. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe some of the numbers here really. Shoot, we got to get to Skungy here in a bit. But number 10, Rainbow Six Siege. Number 9, Arena of Valor. Never even heard of that freaking game. But number 8, Call of Duty with 6.51 million. So this is the top 10 esports of 2019 by total prize pool.
Yeah, these are the monies paid out to prize winners for tournaments.
So Call of Duty is coming in at 6.5 million. Magic the Gathering, 8.89 million.
Yeah.
In coming in at number 7. League of Legends, 9 million. Overwatch, 9.1 million. Number 4, PlayerUnknown Battleground, PUBG, 12.7. Counter-Strike Global Offensive, which the Navy is now, I guess, sponsoring.
Right.
21.1 million. And then the last two kind of surprised me, like Dota, Defense of the Ancients, 46.7 million.
Yeah, why does that surprise you?
I don't know. I never liked the game, so I just assumed nobody else liked it.
Well, you're such a tiny-minded fool sometimes, Dave. There's a ton of people who are into Dota.
Say that again?
Tiny-minded fool.
All right, cool. I needed it without me laughing. That'd make a great promo. But finally, number one, Fortnite, $64.4 million in prizes.
We're in the wrong business, Dave.
Esports is a dead industry. I don't know why people even bother with it. It's just crazy. All right, let's get out of here. Oh, hey, you want to play the Yoda song?
Yeah, so if anybody remembers the Seagull Stop It Now from bad lip reading, they've got a new one out. It's all about Yoda's stick.
Now that's a fire. Listen, sir. Knock you in your head with my stick, with my stick. You gon' have a mark from my stick, from my stick. My stick, my stick, my stick is better than bacon. You can't touch my stick. I don't wanna.
Wizard World returns to New Orleans January 3rd to the 5th at the Morial Convention Center. Meet stars from Smallville, The Princess Bride, Outlander, and more. Tickets start at $35. Kids 10 and under free. Get yours now at wizardworld.com.
Friends, is your morning tea just not your cup of tea? Then try the tea blends of Viridian Tea Company. At Viridian Tea Company, they sell blends guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With such blends as Tea of the Necropolis, Quantum Mechanics, Spider Witch, and many more, your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at Tubby & Coo's Mid-City Bookshop, located at 631 North Carrollton, or on Etsy at Viridian Tea Company. Try Viridian Tea Company today. Your taste buds will thank you.
You've waited for it, and now it's here. Get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt and help support our show. These 100% cotton black t-shirts with the Week in Geek Radio Show logo are going fast. So don't wait. Go to twigradio.com and order your shirt now. Just go to twigradio.com and get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt. $15 up to XL, $17 for 2X and 3X. That's twigradio.com.
Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid by Nancy Hansen, is now an audiobook read for you by Brian Held. It's a tale of a young girl from Tortuga who disguises herself as a boy and bluffs her way onto a pirate ship, chasing after her one true love, only to find adventure on the high seas. Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid is available on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. Get your copy of Jezebel Johnston today.
Hello, creeps. It's me, John Kassir, the voice of the Crypt Keeper, and you're listening to The Week in Geek.
Welcome back to The Week in Geek, your source for geek and pop culture news that's trending now. I'm your host, D-Squared, along with
Brian Held.
All right, Brian, it is your favorite time of the show.
Yay.
I am not what you would call a handsome man.
Skungy's Pick of the Week is brought to you by GameStop and ThinkGeek.com.
Skungy's Pick of the Week.
He might be an idiot savant.
Woohoo!
Skungy, what's shaking, bacon? Where is he? There he is.
Gentlemen.
Hey, how are you?
I had a week off vacation.
I am
I'm
doing
confused.
well.
Good. Well, I guess now that Christmas is over, you're doing great.
Oh, I'm doing fantastic.
Well, now
hey,
it's
y'all
the
were talking
return
about
season.
the whole the return season. Don't even get me started on that. But y'all were talking about the whole E-League thing.
Yeah.
And it's funny you should mention that because I've already been they got in touch with me from MechaCon because the Army Esports League is going to MechaCon and they're going to compete there for everybody at MechaCon this summer.
Wow.
Cool.
That's nifty. All right, we're going to have to dig into that.
Yeah, I mean, really cool. Yeah, like Dave said, esports aren't going anywhere. It's a dead-end sport.
It is. I don't know why anybody bothers with that. All right, Skungy, what are we talking about today, bud?
So I'm doing my top 5 of the year. 2019 is just about
Did he
over.
curse?
Got
All of a
2
sudden, I
days
just
left.
heard beep.
No, that
The
was
top
his phone.
5? Top
Yeah.
5.
Top 5
The
games
top
of 2019.
5.
Yes.
Top 5 games of 2019, because you know what, we're just about done with this decade. So let's talk about what was good this year.
Stop,
All right.
stop cursing, or is R2D2
I got a
hanging
couple
out
of
with you?
I got a couple of honorable mentions.
Okay.
Real quick. Number 1, Days Gone. Really liked that game. It was a
Oh,
really
Days
fun
Gone. I
game
thought
that
he
was
said
on
Dave's gone. I'm
Yeah.
like, Jesus, where did I go? Sorry. All right.
You left the building, Dave.
I ran out of Ritalin. Sorry. All right. Continue, please.
But Days Gone was a really fun game, only on the PlayStation. Just if they would have learned how gas mileage with a motorcycle works, it would have been perfect.
Nice.
The other one I have to say is Kingdom Hearts 3. Fantastic game. Great closeout to the series, or so we thought, because now they got DLC coming out for it in the next couple of months, where you thought the story was over, but no.
Disney, part owner of it. Of course they're going to do that.
Of course not. Yeah. So, which I'll move right into my number 5. So my number 5 pick for best game of the year will be Mortal Kombat 11.
Ooh.
Nice.
So I'm a huge fan of the Mortal Kombat series, and this one just knocked it out of the park. It's actually, they took all the story from the last ones and culminated it with a huge cross universe story, but also they refined the gameplay with adding little things here and there to it, idiosyncrasies that have made the game so much better than it was in the past.
No, dude, I completely agree. I mean, even watching my kid play, I mean, I tried my hand at it. If it's not a joystick with 6 buttons, I can't play it anymore. But I like all the stories that's in there. They got little side games and weird things that you can just kill time with if you really suck at button mashing.
Yeah.
So no, they've done well with their later installments.
And there's some great DLC, including the Terminator being one of the playable characters that you can download for it.
Yeah.
Quick, hum the Terminator theme song.
Oh, jeez.
Never mind. Moving on. What's
Dun,
next?
dun, 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 dun. Number 4 is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Yes.
Yeah, that's recent. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, look, this game is the Star Wars single-player game that we have been waiting for since Force Unleashed. So
Yep.
Force Unleashed came out such a long time ago. We've been waiting for a really good story-driven Star Wars game for years, and this is it.
I mean, Star Wars keeps assuming that I have friends, and they need to cut that crap out. I just need single-player games, and I'm good.
All right, there you go.
All right.
And it was. I mean, now I will tell you, this game difficult. If you can now, thankfully, there's an option that you can turn the difficulty down. And I'm not going to lie, I played this game on the easiest difficulty because I suck at video games. And it was, even at the lower difficulty, it was kind of hard.
Yeah.
But it played so well. I mean, anybody who's a fan of the Dark Souls series is going to really like this game for the gameplay style of it. It's got a really good story, if not a little bit predictable. Anybody who knows anything about Star Wars canon is going to look at it and go, yeah, I know how this is going to end. But still, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey.
Of course.
So, number 3 is Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yeah.
So my favorite game on the GameCube is Luigi's Mansion 1. It's hands down it was the first game I played on the GameCube. It's still the game I play on the GameCube to this day. I love that game. I love that series, and it was so fun. It was so whimsical. I like things that are spooky, but fun spooky. And that's exactly what this entire game was.
Fan of whimsy.
I had a friend of mine stop me last night to tell me how excited she was that her husband bought her a Nintendo Switch for Christmas, and that was the first thing she played was Luigi's, Mansion 3. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I think it's the best game. In my opinion, it's the best game to come out on the Switch this year. So if you had to pick the number 1 game for the Switch, that is definitely my number 1 game. Nintendo, once again, knocks it out of the park with that game.
Cool. All right, number 2.
Borderlands 3.
Still haven't played it.
Yeah.
Borderlands 3, I mean, sure, it didn't have the protagonists that you did with Handsome Jack that the second one had, but it was so much fun. Every bit of the gameplay, when you have a game that was as good as Borderlands 2, how are you going to, and you had a story as good as Borderlands 2, how do you improve on that, the gameplay and the character progression was so leaps and bounds better in this game than the second one, where you can choose how your character was going to move forward, how you were going to improve them, with choosing what kind of special abilities they can have, and how you're going to use those. And each character class had a completely different feel to it. So you feel like when you go through as a different character, it's not like you feel like you're playing the same game.
Right.
I absolutely love the game. Now, mind you, I didn't finish it because the last boss is cheap, and I broke a controller.
The game cheat. The game cheat.
The game cheated. It was that bad. I'm not even joking. It was that bad. The game cheats. But the entire time before then, I enjoyed every bit about it. Great storytelling. I mean, some of the side missions on this game are just so much fun. And just find the little secrets and Easter eggs throughout the entire, which throw back all the way back to the first game, is just really, really good. When I talk about you get your money's worth for a game, this is one of those few ones where you will get your money's worth. You'll play it for hours and hours on end. You'll go through and play different classes. It's a lot of fun. Nice. Borderlands 3, it's my number 2.
All right, finally, number 1. We got to wrap up quick.
Outer Worlds.
Yeah.
The Outer Worlds is my game of the year because of two simple reasons.
Fallout sucked.
It feels like that good old-fashioned action RPG that with unbelievable story, and it feels like a Fallout game what Fallout should be.
Right.
Because it actually doesn't take itself too seriously. Fallout is too serious. It's like, no, we have to be on the straight and narrow. And this is like, yeah, I'm going to throw you a guy who's got a moon helmet on and enjoy it.
Nice.
I'm totally down with that.
That game is so much fun. There's so much to do in it, so many different worlds to go to. And there's so many options on how to play, how you're going to play, who you're going to play. This game is just amazing. You can go back and play as many times as you would. I haven't had this much fun with an action RPG since playing Knights of the Old Republic.
Nice.
Bold praise there. Skungy, we're not going to fire you for the new year. So you know what? You can work for us for 2 more days. We'll fire you next year.
Oh, geez.
Fantastic. I'll see y'all at Wizard World this weekend.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it, man.
All right, buddy.
Guys, stay tuned. When we get back, our guest is waiting on the line, Lenore Zann. She's going to be here, and we're going to talk all about Wizard World. You're listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO.
ProSe Productions is a leading independent publisher on the cutting edge of new pulp and genre fiction today. At ProSe Productions, you'll find fiction featuring fast-paced action and adventure, larger-than-life protagonists, over-the-top characters, and tight yet extravagant plots. ProSe specializes in prose books, anthologies, audiobooks, and more. Go to prose-press.com to find our monthly release schedule and more info about our great titles. ProSe Productions is your first-rate publisher of new pulp fiction today.
Wizard World returns to New Orleans January 3rd to the 5th at the Montreal Convention Center. Meet stars from Smallville, The Princess Bride, Outlander, and more. Tickets start at $35. Kids 10 and under free. Get yours now at wizardworld.com. Brendan David, a recent Hannon High graduate, was in a life-altering ATV accident days after his graduation. Against the odds, he survived, but now must relearn how to walk and talk through costly therapy. Please join us on January 25th from 3 till 6 at the Howlin' Wolf for a benefit for Brendan David. Enjoy food, drinks, a live DJ, raffles, and a silent auction. All proceeds will go to the Brendan David Special Needs Trust. For more details, go to Brendan's Miracle on Facebook or join us on January 25th at the Howlin' Wolf from 3 till 6.
Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid by Nancy Hansen, is now an audiobook read for you by Brian Held. It's a tale of a young girl from Tortuga who disguises herself as a boy and bluffs her way onto a pirate ship, chasing after her one true love, only to find adventure on the high seas. Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid is available on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. Get your copy of Jezebel Johnston today.
How do you give hope to a child in the foster care system? It starts with your heart. That tug you feel on yours when you hear that children are waiting for a stable, loving voice to speak up for their best interests. And then it becomes your time. What started out as a feeling that maybe you could make a difference becomes the difference. Change a child's story. There is a child waiting for a volunteer like you.
Log on to louisianacasa.org to find a program near you.
You've waited for it, and now it's here. Get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt and help support our show. These 100% cotton black t-shirts with the Week in Geek Radio Show logo are going fast. So don't wait. Go to twigradio.com and order your shirt now. Just go to twigradio.com and get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt. $15 up to XL, $17 for 2X and 3X. That's twigradio.com.
Friends, is your morning tea just not your cup of tea? Then try the tea blends of Viridian Tea Company. At Viridian Tea Company, they sell blends guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With such blends as Tea of the Necropolis, Quantum Mechanics, Spider Witch, and many more, your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at Tubby & Coo's Mid-City Bookshop, located at 631 North Carrollton, or on Etsy at Viridian Tea Company. Try Viridian Tea Company today. Your taste buds will thank you.
This is Kate Mulgrew for the Week in Geek. Just kidding. It's Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, the Major from Ghost in the Shell. Listen, or the Tachicomas are going to get you.
Welcome back into the Week in Geek, your source for geek and pop culture news that's trending now. I'm your host, D Squared, along with
Brian Held.
Hey, there you are, Buckaroo.
Yeah,
how you doing over there, buddy?
Outstanding.
That's good to know. All right, let's go to our guest.
Absolutely. So joining us live on the line is Lenore Zann. She's an actress and also a member of Parliament of Canada. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks so much.
Oh, fantastic.
Merry Christmas. Merry almost New Year.
Oh, yeah, definitely, definitely. No, we're super excited. And, of course, you know, as we have for, I think it's been the past 10 years, Wizard World is coming next weekend, and you're going to join us here in New Orleans.
You better believe it. I can't wait. I'm very excited.
You don't sound Canadian at all. I feel robbed, Brian.
What?
She doesn't sound Canadian at all. You lied to me.
No,
well,
go ahead.
The truth is I'm Australian. I'm Australian, but I moved to Canada when I was a kid, and I started doing movies by the time I was like 20, and I played a lot of American characters and a lot of Southern characters, actually, in films and television. So I never really picked up a Canadian accent, but I did manage to lose my Australian accent.
How do you pick up accents though? I mean this as a serious question. Like how did you try to, you know, I don't know, encapsulate the characters and use those accents?
You know what? I don't know what it is, but the Southern accent comes very easily to me. It could be partly because Australian, we have a very broad accent in Australia, and we move our mouths in a similar way to the South, whereas Canadians are more British sounding, like upper class British.
Yeah.
And so it could be something like that. Maybe it's, you know, the music to my ears just felt comfortable. But you notice a lot of Australian actors are very good with accents. You know, Kate Blanchett, even Hugh, the guy that plays Wolverine.
Hugh Jackman.
Huge Ackman.
Yeah, right. Like he plays Wolverine, and he's Australian. You know what I mean?
Right. So I mean, are you classically trained for accents? Do you do a lot of that stuff, or is this on your own? Just kind of
No, I just do my own stuff, and if a character calls for an accent, I just work on it, and then I do it. But with the Southern one, I didn't even have to really work on it too hard. It just came so naturally, and I walked into the auditions for the X-Men back in 92, I guess it was, 91, something like that.
Right.
And I just said one paragraph that they gave me, and they freaked out and said, don't let her leave the station. That's the one. That's the voice of Rogue, you know. So that's how I got it.
That's awesome.
Now, you have a very easygoing voice where it's like it's not forceful, like I'm Rogue. It's just, it's laid back. It's got that Southern drawl. I like it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm kind of laid back. And they were looking for, they wanted a deep, husky, sexy voice is what they asked for, but with a Southern accent. And my agent at the time, who was in Toronto, said, Lenore, it's you. They're looking for you. So I blew off the first auditions. I didn't even go to the very first auditions. I actually only went in for the callbacks.
Wow.
And that was when they freaked out and went, don't let her leave, because they finally found the one they were looking for.
Now, I think it's interesting. You were part of, I believe it was 68 episodes of the X-Men animated series. And this particular property was so beloved by fans. In fact, some think that it's seconded only to Batman the Animated Series, right, in its popularity.
Right.
And,
That's bold.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I've seen some recent reports of a potential resurgence for the series that may pick up from, like, you know, where it left off at the end of the previous. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, is that something that you'd be interested in participating in again?
Absolutely. I mean, I think it makes absolute sense at this time, because of the Disney Channel, because of Netflix. All of these things have made this show resurface, and more people are watching it. A lot of people are showing it to their kids, and they're really excited to share it with their, the kids, the next generation. And what's going on in the world and in America right now and stuff, it actually leads to a show like the X-Men being completely understood by a new generation, where, the mutants are people who are just like you and me, only they just happen to have an extra special power. And yet some people look at them like, oh, they should be, caged, or they should be, imprisoned, and they're awful people. Well, actually, they just want love and to be accepted just like everybody else.
Absolutely.
They did that.
I think it's time.
They did a lot of that with the movies, too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
That's true, yeah. But I'm very excited. I can't wait to come to New Orleans. Never been there. In Nova Scotia, where I live now, like where I come from after we moved from Australia, we have French people there called the Acadians.
That's us.
Who were deported by the British, and a lot of them ended up down there in New Orleans as Cajuns, right?
Yeah.
My last name is Ducorbier, and we come from down in Homacher, so we're all the way down there. That's where they all. That's where they all migrated down to.
Yeah,
I love your accent.
Yeah, a lot of the.
I love it. Sounds a little bit like Remy.
I try. We try.
Yeah, a lot of the Cajuns.
God, that's beautiful.
Yeah, a lot of the Cajuns. No, it's fine. They're west of us in Lafayette. That's the heart of Acadiana in Louisiana. So, which I was born there actually. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, right where I am, which is Truro in Nova Scotia, and also a little bit north of me, is where the very first deportations were from, and the history there is so rich, and it's so compelling, and it's really quite tragic, that these people were taken from their lands, and the women were separated from the men, and there are little villages where, you can still see where the blacksmith shop was, or the tailor, or this or that, and, so I'm dying to get to where you are, and really check it out for myself and meet as many people as possible. I'm very, very excited.
Cool. So, of course, we're talking with Lenore Zann, and she is an actress, but more importantly, I think, is you're also a member of the Canadian Parliament. And I think this is super interesting, right? Because a lot of times for us here in America, and we don't normally talk politics or religion on our show, but at least in my humble opinion, our politicians who represent us are typically lawyers or businessmen, right? It's very small, slice of what we should be represented by. And yet here you are, you're an actress, and you're a member of Parliament. Like, how'd that happen?
You're a normal person is what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, they say it should be government of the people, for the people, by the people, right?
Right.
Yes.
And so I believe that all people should be able to run for and be elected as a representative to represent the concerns and the interests of the public. And you don't have to just be a lawyer or somebody like that. I think that teachers, doctors, gardeners, artists, housewives, whoever has a natural affinity for people and caring for people and wanting to do right by people should be allowed to run and win an election. Especially, we need more women.
Yeah.
And so when in 2008 there was this big, financial crash, as you can remember, and I remember looking at a newspaper and seeing that all of the prime ministers of all of the top 20 countries in the world were getting together to try and figure out what to do, and there was only one woman in that whole picture, and that was Angela Merkel of
From
Germany.
Yeah.
Right? The rest of them are all men. And I thought, geez, it's 2008. Why are these all men that are deciding our fate? Why can't there be more women in that picture?
Right.
And that's what gave me the idea of running. And in fact, I was asked to run by a local political party in Nova Scotia in 2009 for a state, what we call province, but you would call a state election.
Okay.
And I won.
Nice.
And I won twice more. So for 10 years, I represented my region in provincial or state politics. And then I was asked to run federally to represent a larger area, much larger area in Nova Scotia, up in Ottawa, in the capital. So you're actually talking to me right now, and I am in Ottawa. I'm in the capital of the country, looking for an apartment because I won that election in October, and I will be moving to Ottawa to represent my constituency in the capital of Canada.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Well, sometimes it's like the deepest pockets are the ones who can run for office down here. So it's like,
you're right.
it distracts or deters a lot of people from running because you have to put out a lot of money, and sometimes it's the person with the most money gets the most advertising and da-da-da. Sometimes they don't want to hear the message. They just want to see, flashy bumper stickers or commercials.
I hear you. Well, here we pass laws making it so that it limits the amount of money that people can spend.
Really?
And also you cannot, so a corporation or business cannot put money into a campaign. Neither can a union. So it's fair on both sides.
Wow.
And in fact, there is a limit to how much you're allowed to spend.
Man,
so
we are
that,
backwards down
makes
here.
It more equal.
Yeah, no, that sounds great.
It's something you guys should think about and should maybe talk to, your representatives about, because it does even the playing field for everybody.
Yeah. Now, I do have one item of concern, right? Is that you're looking for an apartment right now, but you're going to come down to New Orleans next weekend, and you might not want to leave.
You better believe it.
You might not want to leave. That's right.
Right. You might want to just find an apartment from here and then represent. I would have,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
That is very true. Well, luckily, I am on a vacation right now. I don't have to be back here until the end of January. So I just took the advantage of the time to come and take a look. And then I'm flying in on January 2nd, actually, to your beautiful part of the world. And so it gives me about 4 days. I'm going to be doing some radio interviews and checking out the city.
Cool.
And I just wish I was going to be there for New Year's, because that sounds like it would be fun there.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We have a good time.
What do you guys do on New Year's?
It varies. I mean, do they still do the Jack's Brewery thing?
They do.
Anymore? Okay, so that's the cool, I don't know, the hipster kind of thing to do. Go downtown to the French Quarter by the St. Louis Cathedral and the Jack's Brewery. They have the ball that drops. But most of us really just kind of family and friends get together.
I mean,
and we blow up half the world.
Right.
We very much love our fireworks. I spend more than I'm comfortable admitting on fireworks.
You have to understand.
Really? Right on.
There are so many parties down here, right? Like that party is not like a big thing that we plan for, because every weekend's going to have a party, right? It's just, there was a joke article that was put out on the satire site about how the last event permit was issued by the city of New Orleans because they've run out, right? Because we literally, I think it's something like 130 different festivals just in this city on an annual basis.
Wow.
Yeah.
And parades sporadically pop up.
You better save some of that partying for me for when I get there. I want to party with you guys.
Absolutely. Yeah, no. we got the connections. We'll take you out. It'll be all good. Yeah.
All right, don't you use up all your juice. Save some for me.
Absolutely. Now, this, of course, all this begs the question, right? And since you're in government and you're representing the people, like, how does it affect your voice work and your acting? Like, do you have anything new that you're working on in that space?
Well, I do some stuff in my spare time, like when I've got a summer vacation or March break or on the weekends. So I haven't been doing any new animation stuff. The latest animation one I did, which I think is on Netflix, is called Animal Mechanicals, and that's for little kids. People in the States can see that. I play the voice of Island Owl, and she starts off every show. So that one's on right now. But I do have a movie coming out called Stage Mother.
All right.
And it's premiering on January 4th in Palm Springs, starring Lucy Liu, Jackie Weaver, and Adrienne Grenier, who was on TV. And it's a great movie, and I've got the fifth lead in that, and it's called Stage Mother. And let's put it this way, there are a lot of drag queens in it.
Wow.
So it should be pretty interesting. It's a bit like Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, if you can remember that Australian film from a while back.
No, that sounds great.
It's going to be really good. It's funny, it's saucy, and it's sad too. So it's got everything in it.
Yeah, we got plenty of wonderful drag queens down here too. So
yeah, we do.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, I bet they'll love this movie.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Stage Mother by Tom Fitzgerald is the director.
So I guess we're getting close to a commercial break. Would you like to tell folks out there how they can follow you out on social media and keep up with all the great stuff you're working on?
Yeah. Twitter. I'm on Twitter as at Zann Lenore, I believe it is. And also I'm on Instagram, and it's either at Zann Lenore or at Lenore Zann. I can't remember. It's one of the two. I'm on Facebook, but those two are the ones where my fans tend to find me and tweet me pictures and tell me what they thought about some of the shows that we've done. And, the thing that warms my heart about the X-Men and the fans is that a lot of people, it touched them at times of their lives when they really needed to feel that they belonged and that they were, not just crazy or geeky, that they actually had a family. And I want people to know we'd love to meet you and come on out to the Wizard World and come and see us when we're in New Orleans. I can't wait to meet the fans.
Absolutely. We're so excited to have you, and thank you so much for taking the time tonight.
No problem. I'm going to whisk out of this snowy world and come down and party with you guys. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, it might be a little cold down here, but I don't know, cold is
Really?
relative for us. I think it's going to be like we consider 60 cold. Like really, really cold.
Oh, well,
So,
it's much colder than that here.
There you go.
All right, hang tight. Hang on the phone for us for just a second. Guys, stay tuned. When we get back, we're going to close out the show as we always do with This Week in Geek History. You're listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO.
Friends, is your morning tea just not your cup of tea? Then try the tea blends of Viridian Tea Company. At Viridian Tea Company, they sell blends guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With such blends as Tea of the Necropolis, Quantum Mechanics, Spider Witch, and many more, your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at Tubby & Coo's Mid-City Bookshop, located at 631 North Carrollton, or on Etsy at Viridian Tea Company. Try Viridian Tea Company today. Your taste buds will thank you.
Wizard World returns to New Orleans January 3rd to the 5th at the Montreal Convention Center. Meet stars from Smallville, The Princess Bride, Outlander, and more. Tickets start at $35. Kids 10 and under free. Get yours now at wizardworld.com.
Mata Hari, Agent H-21 is a spy fiction short story anthology about the famous dancer, seductress, and spy from World War I. Mata Hari, Agent H-21, published by Pro Se Productions, has 7 rip-roaring adventure tales about the world-famous super spy that features her battling her enemies by using any weapons at her disposal. Mata Hari, Agent H-21 is available for purchase in ebook and paperback formats on Amazon.com.
Brendan David, a recent Hannon High graduate, was in a life-altering ATV accident days after his graduation. Against the odds, he survived, but now must relearn how to walk and talk through costly therapy. Please join us on January 25th from 3 till 6 at the Howlin' Wolf for a benefit for Brendan David. Enjoy food, drinks, a live DJ, raffles, and a silent auction. All proceeds will go to the Brendan David Special Needs Trust. For more details, go to Brendan's Miracle on Facebook or join us on January 25th at the Howlin' Wolf from 3 till 6.
Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid by Nancy Hansen, is now an audiobook read for you by Brian Held. It's a tale of a young girl from Tortuga who disguises herself as a boy and bluffs her way onto a pirate ship, chasing after her one true love, only to find adventure on the high seas. Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid is available on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. Get your copy of Jezebel Johnston today.
You've waited for it, and now it's here. Get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt and help support our show. These 100% cotton black t-shirts with the Week in Geek Radio Show logo are going fast. So don't wait. Go to twigradio.com and order your shirt now. Just go to twigradio.com and get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt. $15 up to XL, $17 for 2X and 3X. That's twigradio.com.
This is The Week in Geek, your source for geek and pop culture news that's trending now.
Inconceivable!
Follow The Week in Geek on Instagram at The Week in Geek Radio Show.
Ha-ha, you fool! You fell victim to one of the classic blunders.
Here's David and Brian.
Welcome back into The Week in Geek. I'm your host, D-Squared, along with
Brian Held.
Now, as always, we want to strongly urge you to check out the Facebook page, facebook.com/The Week in Geek. Check out our website at twigradio.com. Follow us on Twitter at Twig Radio and the Instagrams, The Week in Geek. Now, Brian, how can people listen to this lovely show?
Well, if you miss any part of tonight's show or you want to catch your favorite part again, you can always find us on Spreaker.com or download Spreaker for your smartphone or tablet. We're also on iTunes, YouTube, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, the iHeartRadio app,
and Ottawa.
This week in Geek History.
We're sending you back to the future! Yes! Oh my God!
This week in Geek History is brought to you by Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid by Nancy Hansen, read by Brian Held. Available on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. This week in Geek History.
Yes! Oh my God!
Dun-na-na, 3 minutes. Let's do it, Brian.
All right, I'm going to kind of cut this down a little bit. On December 25th, 1999. You got to guess this one, Dave. This movie, directed by Dean Parasad, starring Tim Allen, Sigourney Weaver, Alan Rickman,
come on,
Tony Shalhoub, and Sam Rockwell.
Oh, Galaxy Quest.
There you go.
You almost had me for a second. I was about to say Rocky Horror for some strange reason. I don't know why. I don't know why that jumped in my head.
Yeah, no,
Galaxy
absolutely.
Quest.
Galaxy Quest. I love that movie,
That used to be the theme show opening for this show.
Yeah, you're right.
6 years ago? 7 years?
Almost 7, yeah. And one of the funniest things, too, was that scene with the transporter, right, where they're transporting him to the ship for the first time.
And it's exploded.
Right? And Sigourney Weaver screams. She didn't know what was going to happen.
And it exploded.
Right.
And it scared her?
It scared the snot out of her.
That's
because
awesome.
the director wanted that, reaction.
This episode was badly written. This should die. She was awesome in that.
All right. I put this one in here because I think you're going to hate it.
All right.
December 26, 1979. Sees the founding of the Kingdom of Tolosa, which is one of the world's earliest micronations.
Oh, God.
Right? Like the Principality of Sealand. Mm-hmm. Right? But I threw this in here because of our fond,
Nerdlandia. Nerdlandia.
Yeah. So at the time in 79, a 14-year-old Robert Ben Madison of Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
Yes. Declared his bedroom the Kingdom of Tolosa, which is a Finnish word which means inside the house. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Like Schadenfreude. Can I call my house the Principality of Schadenfreude?
You could do whatever you want, Dave.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm doing.
And I looked it up. These people still have a web presence.
Get out.
Oh, yeah. And there's been like coups and abdications.
No
and all
way.
All
right, Nerdlandia. We got to get this done for the new year.
We do.
We got 2 days to get it done.
Okay. Let's see. I'm going to put this one. Yeah, this one you're going to hate it too. December 29, 2002. You hate fake holidays.
I do.
In C-Lab 2021's episode titled The Feast of Alvis, a holiday Alvis tide is introduced. Quote, believer, you have forgotten the true meaning of Alvis Day. Neither is it ham nor pomp. Nay, the true meaning of Alvis Day is drinking and revenge.
Oh, wait, I like this one now. Drinking and revenge?
Yes.
All right, that's my new holiday. I've adopted it. It is now official.
Awesome. Guys, we're going to be at Wizard World New Orleans all weekend. Next weekend, please come out and see us.
Facebook, like us, and get your winning
Free
chance
tickets.
VIP tickets. To
Absolutely.
carry us. All right, till next time, keep your nerve flag raised high.
GFL.
Catch News Talk 99.5 WRNO FM New Orleans anywhere on our free iHeartRadio app.